Welcome back, everybody, to another exciting episode of the Back from the Grid podcast.
What?
It's your host today, Matthew, with your co-host, Cody. Cody, how you doing today? How's your life been? Has it been pretty exciting, or has it been pretty much exactly what it was last week?
I am great, thank you.
We got some exciting stuff for you guys to talk about. We got a lot to catch up on as we didn't have a podcast last week.
Yeah, Matthew, why was that?
Why was that?
What did you do?
So I got into a car accident.
Yeah, a what?
Yeah.
Hooray!
Hooray!
Clap, 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 clap.
My brake lines.
Okay, nobody's dead. We'll just
Yeah, we're all fine. There's no damage.
No insurance claims were made, but
yeah, we're all
Matthew, I'll let you
good.
tell the story.
So basically, I was driving down the road. I was braking, and then all of a sudden, it felt like my brakes got cut. Went right into the next lady.
Because I cut them. I mean, what?
Oh, yeah. Is it because of last week with that whole question of how would you hide a body?
No, for legit. I was listening to that when I was at work, and my first thought when I was listening to that was, oh, crap, we didn't have a podcast last week. Because I literally said in the podcast, if you guys don't hear from me next week, then
I killed him.
Yeah. But
and then I brought him back because we needed him for the podcast.
Yes, of course.
So yeah, now you guys know why we didn't have a podcast. We're sorry for the inconvenience, but we're going to make it up for today's awesome podcast. Which, speaking of which, Cody, let's get right on into it.
Hey,
what games have you been playing?
Hey, Matthew.
Yes, Cody.
You skipped over the most important thing in this podcast. The only reason people listen to this, and do you want to know what it is?
I don't know. What is it?
There is exactly 108 days before Mountain Blade Bannerlord comes out. Matthew had just about spit out his drink.
Oh, what?
Yeah, 108
Less
days.
than a year. Oh, man. I
Less
wish
than a
Half-Life 3
year.
was like this.
Well, I don't think Valve can count to 3, so you're going to be waiting a long time. But yeah, so I've been doing pretty good. As I'm sure a lot of people at this time of year are experiencing, finals are coming up, doing college stuff.
Just a reminder, since we are now in November, we are not going to be having a podcast on Thanksgiving.
Correct, because we record these on Thursday. So Thanksgiving is on Thursday. We will be having a holiday break, and I hope y'all have a great Thanksgiving, or if you're not in the United States, I hope you have a great Thursday.
Yes. Anyway, let's get right
Matthew,
into this podcast.
what have you
Cody.
been doing besides car crashing?
Yes. Okay, everybody, it's time for the booing to begin.
Boo.
Boo. Matthew bought Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Boo, you suck. Call of Duty
Okay.
Modern Warfare.
Okay, so I had a GameStop Pro.
Wow.
For the longest time. I've been a customer with them since 2012. With
You're
this,
old.
I've had.
You're an old man now, Matthew.
Oh God, I've Game Informer magazines since like Skyward Sword. I still have that. That was my first one.
All of our older viewers are like you.
I've got tubs of Game Informer
nothing,
magazines.
Matthew. I was around when the Atari was out, and there was
Okay,
Nintendo.
boomer.
All right, now that we've offended half of our audience, Matthew, please continue with your story.
Anyway, but yeah, no, I gained all this credit in my GameStop, my reward locker.
Yeah.
I had all this trade-in stuff I had in before.
You had
And
like a monthly subscription.
I had
GameStop thing.
I had a yearly subscription.
Yearly.
And I had the Pro. I had the Elite before, which I hate the fact they got rid of it because they gave you 20% off all pre-owned games.
Dang.
It was a really good deal, and you got 3 times the amount of reward points, so you could like rank up money and it was only $10 more a year.
That's pretty good, but
It was a
I
really
understand
good
why they
deal.
took it away because they weren't.
They
probably not
lost a lot
making-
of money.
Yeah, I bet.
But yeah, no, it was a really great deal. I loved it. I'm sad and then I went to Pro, and then I was like, okay, I don't shop at GameStop that much to warrant paying this anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna not renew my subscription. And yeah, no, I didn't renew it this year. I'm
And you
sad.
spent all those points
And
on,
all that on Modern Warfare. I ended up paying like $6.
That's not bad.
And the PC copy was like on the base model, like the base game was just like it was actually $10 less than
Wait, you say base game?
the base game.
I'm guessing there's already DLC for it.
Well, there's different editions with different operators. Don't go freaking out. Okay.
I'm not freaking out. It's just I'm not angry, Activision. I'm just disappointed.
Like, and as far as the operators go, the operators, which are basically like different characters you can play, there's no gameplay difference whatsoever. It's just different cosmetic.
Wait,
Operators.
This sounds like Pokemon Red and Blue sort of situation here.
So basically, operators act like in-game characters. They have stories behind them, and you play them in multiplayer and your co-op mode, Spec Ops. And you can pick them, and you can earn them. And a lot of them you can get from playing just the campaign or playing the game itself.
So are they doing this for like an attempt to make people buy multiple copies of the game?
No. The special editions that you get come with like operators that came from the original Modern Warfare trilogy. Like, for example, you can get the operator from All Gillied Up from Modern Warfare 1. You remember that mission, don't you?
Modern Warfare 1 was not a game I played very much, but I do think I know what you're talking about.
The mission where you're the sniper and you're going through like all this. Yeah, no,
like-
everybody loved that mission.
Yeah.
But I played through campaign, which is the big reason I bought it for this year, because I heard a lot of good things about campaign. And oh my God, this is the best Call of Duty campaign since the original.
And y'all, this is coming from a Call of Duty fanatic. This is the first year that he did not pre-order.
I didn't pre-order. I gave up this year until I let the reviews. And I personally, I'm going to do a shout out here. I listened to a lot of reviews from Angry Joe. From the Angry Joe.
Angry Joe Show.
And he's hard on some games, especially Call of Duty.
Well, he's called Angry Joe, so he's got to be hard on games.
And he's huge against these loot box mechanics, and I respect him for a lot of his decisions. This year, he actually gave Call of Duty a really good review because he liked it, because not only was it a reboot, the campaign was solid, and it did some really cool missions that we've never seen in a Call of Duty game before. But the multiplayer is some of the best multiplayer we've seen since Modern Warfare, the original.
Okay.
It did a lot of cool things, and it did a lot of interesting things. The Gunsmith, which is your new way of customizing guns, it got rid of Create a 10 class from Black Ops 2 and those other Call of Duty games, and then went towards this new Create a class system to where you can put up to 5 attachments on your guns. There's so many attachments and so many ways you can customize your guns. For example, you can turn a sniper rifle into like a semi-automatic weapon. You can turn a AK-47 into a submachine gun. You can turn a shotgun into a sniper rifle. There's just so many ways you can customize your guns. I mean, I remember seeing a SMG or a pistol having like 15 to 20 to 30 attachment, like just sights on it. The co-op mode is probably my biggest gripe with the game. It's just way too difficult.
How so?
Like, it throws 3 or 4 juggernauts at you in one game, like at once. And the juggernauts in this game are no joke. Oh, they play metal when you fight them. Like, when you get the score streak in the multiplayer, you'll start playing metal music.
Okay.
As you come through. The attention of detail into this game was also really good. They built a whole new engine for the game just for Modern Warfare, and they gave it off to all the other developers, and it really shows. Also, if anybody plays on PC, this is one of the best PC ports of a Call of Duty game you will ever play. The amount of optimization and the amount of settings that they give you, and just the amount of control they give you, is unprecedented in a Call of Duty game. It is one of the best PC ports I have ever played for a Call of Duty game. And if you are interested in buying it on PC, I downright recommend it.
Hashtag not sponsored.
But yeah, no, I will still, even though I did buy it, and yes, I am somewhat of a Call of Duty fanboy, I'm still gonna hold it to what I've said before. I don't trust Activision not to screw this up.
Of course.
They did this with Black Ops 4. Black Ops 4 was okay at launch. They ruined it later down the road. I will say I am optimistic from this point forward with how they're going along with it. There's a lot of stuff they had promised originally that's still not in the game. The face watches, but nothing integral that I would really care about a whole lot. It's not like with Black Ops 4 when they said factions was going to be coming to zombies, and they still haven't even added that. It's, you know, to my experience, it's nothing integral to the game that's not there at launch. Everything that should be there is there. Leaderboards, emblems, all that we've been wanting. And the multiplayer has a lot of variety. Campaign's solid. It's really polarizing to play this. It's really dark. I mean, you get to see
Is it DC dark?
It's dark. I mean, there's a kid who gets shot. Like one of the villains like threatens to shoot the child in front of you if you don't let him into this embassy mission. Like you're protecting this terrorist, like the leader of the terrorists, and they break into the embassy, and they're trying to get in, and they're like, "Hey, you open the door right now, or I'm going to shoot this kid." And
that's really not good.
And I didn't open it.
Matthew.
And he shot the kid.
Activision, that's not good.
There's also a mission where you're going through and you're doing...
This needs to be Skyrim, all right? He just needs to, like, take the bullet and not be phased.
Well, no, it's like, it's super dark. I mean, there's the Piccadilly mission, where terrorists go into the city of Piccadilly, like this part
of
Piccadilly.
Are these spoilers?
No, it's shown in the game.
For those who want to play the game.
And also, if you haven't been, we're going to, like, it's a slight spoiler. Well, not really. It's shown in the trailers. There's this mission where terrorists start bombing part of the UK in London. And like they start doing bombs. There's suicide bombers going through the streets, detonating bombs. Civilians are running through the streets. It's chaos. You see terrorists coming around with AK-47s.
Real quick, I will mention we are talking about a video game.
Please,
none
this
of
is
this
a video
happened.
game.
None of this is real. We do not condone anything like this. But please continue.
It's so chaotic. You're a police officer. You're playing as a sergeant, and you're just responding to this, trying to like it's so chaotic because you don't know who's a civilian and who's not. It's so like I've never played a Call of Duty mission like this because I have to wash my shots because it's like I don't know if this guy is a civilian or if he's a terrorist, and it's so chaotic. And I've accidentally shot a lot of civilians on accident.
Matthew, this has gone from like you were very excited about talking about this story. Now it's very dark.
It's really dark. It even like every time you play into it, it will pop up a message stating for mature audiences only. Every time you even go into it, even if you've already played it, it'll be like, this is a really, like, this covers sensitive topics. Viewer discretion is advised.
Well, player discretion.
Player discretion is advised.
Well, Matthew, that's very interesting. I think we need to move on to a different topic, but
yes,
I'm glad that it has.
I'll talk later if they screw up, though.
Yes, we'll be keeping an eye on you, Activision. You're on thin ice right now. But let's
get right into it.
Yeah, I'm glad that you actually had a good experience with that game, especially because I think it was our last podcast that we did. You were talking about you did not want to talk about that game.
I didn't originally. However, and I didn't even play the beta. I was just not wanting to touch it.
Fair.
I didn't want to touch it. I didn't want to get within a 10-foot cattle prod of it. But it's good.
Good.
Actually.
Now, we're going to move on to everyone's favorite segment. We're going to be talking about stuff that makes us nostalgic. So, Matthew, what are we talking about today?
We're going to be talking about our favorite video game bosses.
Ooh.
This is really difficult.
This is very difficult. Very difficult indeed. Matthew,
so, Cody?
You wrote this question. I got to think about it, so you go ahead.
This is really difficult.
It is. There's a lot of good video game bosses.
I have to take to 3 because I can't list off a specific one.
All right.
Mr. Freeze from Batman Arkham Asylum.
From the game you played very recently?
Yes.
Okay.
He's one of the 3. Because a lot of people talked about how really good.
Who played him?
I don't know off the top of my head. Okay. I don't know.
I didn't know if it was like
the
some
voice
famous
actor.
Voice actor.
But a lot of people have been hyping up this. I've heard this was the big thing for Arkham Asylum or Arkham City that this boss fight was really popular. It was really good because you couldn't just go 1-to-1 with him. He was way too strong to just take him on in a fist fight. You had to stealth around him.
So you actually had to do some batting.
Yeah.
Batman.
You had to stealth around and try to sneak up on him and take him down when he least expects it. The thing with that mission or this boss fight is there's a lot of ways you can approach him, but he will adapt to how you fight him. So say, for example, I use an electrical trap
Mhm.
and I shock him, and then I go in and hit him to a quarter of his hit him down a quarter of his health.
Yeah.
He will immediately recognize how I did it, and then he will freeze over the electrical boxes. And he's like, "You can't do that now."
Hmm.
So it forces you to have to keep changing your tactic on
That's
how
pretty
you engage
interesting,
with
because
it.
boss fights can get really annoying when it's like, all right, he did this animation, so I have to do this exact clicking of buttons. All right, great. He did that animation again. That exact clicking of buttons again.
You can't just like spam one constant
Mhm.
strategy. You have to change. For another example, would be like if you were using the vents to sneak up behind him,
Yeah.
he'll freeze the vents. If you were using the railing to sneak up on him, he'll freeze the railing so you can't use it.
Hmm. Okay, that's kind of interesting. What was your what's the second one?
Andros from Star Fox 64.
That's the
The
big
final boss in Star Fox 64.
Mm-hmm.
I remember as a kid, I loved Star Fox 64. And when I got to the end of it, I was like, I don't know what's at the end of it. And
Yeah.
then when I got greeted with a disembodied head and hands, I was like scared. I was like, oh,
What?
whoa. I panicked. I was freaking out because it was like all of a sudden it just jumps out at you.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just like, oh, God.
Oh no.
Oh, man. Yeah, no, that boss fight was like, especially if you, there's two different variants of him too.
Yeah,
There's the
I remember
hard,
you saying that there's the good ending and the bad ending.
the bad ending is if you go through the easy path, you find out he's just a cyborg robot
Mhm.
head and he's just like a bat and he just goes like, and he's like super
No one can
easy.
see, but Matthew just like headbanged right there when he was doing that.
He just like reveals like robot interiors. If you fight him in the hard difficulty,
Mm-hmm.
he will explode, and then he'll show his true form, which is a gigantic brain and two eyeballs.
Weird.
And I love the joke he does afterward. He's like, "Only I have the brains to rule the Lilad system."
Okay.
And I'm just like, this is so cheesy.
Yeah. But sometimes that makes the best stuff, especially when you're a kid. Okay, what's your number one favorite video game boss?
Oh God.
The number one. You said you had 3. What's the third one? Or the first one?
Ooh, Ganondorf.
Yeah, I can see that.
Ganondorf, hands down.
Fair. Why?
Because it's just that, I mean, you've played Ocarina of Time.
I've beaten Ocarina of Time.
You've beaten Ocarina of Time and I'm not talking about Ganondorf. I'm talking about Ganon specifically when he, his final form. The sword goes into the air, it lands near Zelda, the wire wall comes out, he turns into this huge hulky monster. That text shows up, Ganon, and he's like. He's just like flailing his arms.
Okay, Matthew's making all these like movements and stuff, and nobody can see it. But yes, I do remember that. Although I vaguely remember it because I think I beat that section really quickly. But yes, continue.
Yeah, no, that was like a huge boss fight for me.
It was just a really big payoff for the.
It was like
game.
super like. I remember going into that fight, and I'm just like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? This is. I'm just like. All of a sudden, like,
Yeah, even with my like elite gaming skills that I have now, it took me quite a few tries to actually beat Ganondorf and then like the final form and whatnot.
Yeah, no,
that's a pretty difficult boss fight.
That was such a really good boss fight. A runner-up would probably be his boss fight in Breath of the Wild.
I've not played that one, but I want to.
Yeah, no, that boss fight, and the cool thing was his boss fight.
He's a very very.
I'm not going to spoil it.
Good,
but I'm going to say this:
very notable boss.
His health is dependent on how many of the beasts that you take down.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, if you go in there, like
I'm not going to spoil it, but here's all the spoilers.
Well, I'm not going to get like it's not like a spoiler, but like to what he does or anything like that. I'm just saying, go fight the beast first, because if you just go straight to Ganon. Because you can do that in Breath of the Wild. You can go right for the end game out of the gate.
It's the end. We're in the end game now.
Oh my God! Stop it! Yeah, you can go right for him and then just like try, but you'll probably die super quick.
Probably.
So
unless you're like a legit gamer.
Yeah, unless you're a legit gamer. I mean, people have done it.
Yeah, yeah.
It is possible. I wouldn't recommend it, but it is possible. So, Cody, what is... I've given you ample time to think about it. You
I
probably
now have
it.
answers.
What is your favorite boss?
So originally, when you were talking, my first thought was Bowser. Just because he's the classic villain. He's like the first boss that I ever went up against playing video games. And I very much enjoy how he's also, while he is a villain, he's also like a rich guy that hangs out with all of the protagonists and plays party games all the time. Like, he's still a bad guy, but then sometimes he plays party games, and sometimes he beats the crap out of other people in, like, a brawl. So he was my first thought, but I immediately thought of another video game boss that is hands down, without question, my favorite video game boss. There's no doubt about it in my mind. This boss is the best, the one that's most memorable, and the one that I can literally listen to sound bites of to this day and still just love the heck out of it.
Yes.
Do you have any guesses? I'll give you one guess.
I don't know. I could not know.
Okay, so basically, like, the reason that I very much love this boss, this one that I will say, is just the character that this boss has, and the way it interacts with the player throughout the game is incredible. The writers did an amazing job with this game that has a sequel, so it's 2 games, 1 and 2. I'm going to keep trying to poke at it until you understand what I'm talking about. But yeah, there's 2 games, and the entire time this boss is like antagonizing the player and always really has the power to destroy the player, but is not trying to do that necessarily. And I just love the character arc that this boss has, and especially in the second game for this boss, how the boss actually becomes an ally to the protagonist.
Is it Borderlands?
No, not Borderlands. I've not played through that. And there's 3 now.
Yeah.
Yeah. It only has 2. But yeah, the boss actually becomes an ally to the protagonist, and I just love the interactions that they have. And he's not gonna get it, so I'm gonna go ahead and say GLaDOS.
Oh,
GLaDOS is my
You're beating
favorite.
around the bush for a hot
Oh yeah,
second.
I was trying to see if you could get it. GLaDOS is absolutely my favorite video game boss, hands down, and I love when she turns into the potato and she just gets to interact with the player.
A potato.
I love it so much. And then I was listening to why I thought about her was I was listening to the end game soundtracks of Portal 1 and 2 a couple days ago, just because those are some of my favorite games. I love it so much. And honestly, not the voice actor that plays GLaDOS, but it's kind of weird. I actually like have a semi crush on GLaDOS the character.
You know, if you ever think about it,
I know she'd murder me, but I don't care.
Yeah, if you think about it, if you see pictures, it looks like a corpse dangling down.
I disagree. I think she just looks like a big old robot person, but I love GLaDOS. She was my favorite boss, and I would totally dude, whenever the Vive first came out and there was that interaction, I don't know if anyone else has ever, probably a few people listening has used the Vive, but anyway, Valve made this demo where you could actually meet and see what GLaDOS looks like to scale, and holy crap, dude, I was blown away. Really, really love GLaDOS. She's my favorite boss. Hands down.
Hands down. So, obviously what I've learned here is GLaDOS, obviously, Cody has a crush on, and
did
have a small...
games.
So, anyway...
Which is really weird, because she's like a psychopathic killer, but... I don't know. I love the character that she has. I'm
going to put that on my list of things I know about, So, anyway, guys, that's the end of that nostalgia section. Yes. Please go ahead and let us know on Facebook or Twitter.
Who's your favorite boss fight?
Yes.
Well, or in the comments section. Video game boss or whatever. And our Facebook is, of course, Back from the Grid Podcast. I'm taking off my jacket if you guys hear sounds. Back from the Grid Podcast. And also, Twitter is Back from the Grid, as is Twitch, Back from the Grid. So, Matthew, now that we've talked about Modern Warfare, Call of Duty, and our favorite video game bosses. And one of the little dark secrets that I have that now the internet knows.
Yeah, it's now out there.
It's now out there. We're going to talk about some gaming news. So, real quick, did you decide to talk about that other thing, or are we just going to?
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and talk about it.
Are you going to talk about that other thing you wanted to talk about, or are we both going to talk about the same one?
We're going to talk about two separate stories.
Okay, so originally both me and Matthew chose the same story.
Because he's a pleb.
Hey.
Fight me.
Fight me.
Fight me.
1v1 me, bro. Okay, so I will go first. Because I think this... Actually, how much do you think you have to say about your story?
A little bit.
A little bit. Okay, you go ahead and talk about your story first, because I think we'll both have a decent discussion about the second story.
So everybody knows about League of Legends, right?
Probably.
It's a video game made by Riot Games. So recently,
I accidentally looked at the questions that you wrote.
Oh gosh darn it! This is why we can't have nice things.
I only saw one answer, so don't worry about it.
Okay, I'm gonna black that out now that you say that. So everybody,
I didn't know you wrote it on this page.
We now know that if Cody goes,
I was looking to see what else we had, and then I forgot that you wrote that stuff because I thought you wrote something about this story. But
we now know Cody is a cheater.
Yes, League of Legends, Matthew.
So League of Legends. So they had their tournament a couple days ago, their final tournament, and last year they also had a virtual band that they have to advertise skins for their new game. They had last year KDA as they played Pop Stars, which was really awesome. I really love the song. A lot of people really loved that.
What song and who is this person?
KDA.
For people who don't know.
KDA is a virtual band comprised of multiple actual singers.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the names of all the specific artists, and I'm not going to go listing specific detail. Pop Stars.
Oh.
That KDA is the band, the Pop Stars the song.
Gotcha.
You got really popular. It was basically K-pop.
Mm-hmm.
They have been teasing for the last couple weeks before the tournament that they were going to be making a new band with one of the singers that was from KDA.
Okay.
And at the tournament, they went ahead and revealed who the new band was. It was called True Damage, and it featured a bunch of characters from League of Legends in new costumes. They had on stage. Of course they had a live performance of it with the actual singers there, but also the really cool thing with the League of Legends live concerts for that with their virtual bands is they'll have the real singers there, but they'll have holograms on stage too.
Yeah, that's so weird how holograms are now a thing.
But they took it from like a 5 to like an 11 from last year because they also interact, like the holograms and stuff also affected the live actors. Like they did the choreography for it. Like there was a scene, for example, one of the guys were like they were dancing and then all of a sudden lights go out. And then like the character was like up high, like they were changing positions between like within seconds of each other.
Okay.
It was like really cool. I really liked the visual effects from it. It was amazing.
That does sound really interesting.
The music video was super awesome. And all of this is basically an elaborate plan to make you spend $10 or $20 on character skins.
So Matthew, I have one very important question.
Yes.
So just so I know, League of Legends and the people who operate that didn't ban anyone for making political statements during this tournament, did they?
They had no problem with that.
Very awesome. Good job, League of Legends.
Whee!
They support free speech. Good job.
Yay!
I'm not talking about anything right now. I'm talking about League of Legends. That's what I'm talking
We're
about
not
right
talking
now.
about anything else.
Because anyone else who is banning people for talking about, let's say supporting, I don't know, democracy, League of Legends. Oh, they didn't do that because they're smart, because that's a really good idea. You should always support democracy because it's wonderful. Pro-democracy people right here. Talking about League of Legends, I'm not talking about anything else. Talking about League of Legends.
But yeah, no, if anybody wants to give it a listen, it's True Damage, the new band. It's on Google Play and Apple iTunes and on YouTube if you want to give it a listen. It's called Giants. I loved it. The characters in the music video was awesome. The music video is awesome. There was this really cool scene where the fan was spinning in this background for the DJ, and the DJ during that part of the song turned the fan up, so it was going really fast, and they had lights going on hitting the fan. So
All of this sounds very interesting, and I feel like everyone would be better off just going to
go
look
watch
at
it, please. Go
Because
watch
I
it.
remember seeing one of their older like music videos, and it was really good. They do a good job with that kind of stuff.
All this to get you to spend $10 or $20 on a skin.
Hey, at least they support democracy. Anyway, so now the story that I and both Matthew chose. I think it's going to be more just a discussion about this because there's really not much to talk about besides the fact that this happened. But so what we're talking about is, and I don't remember the studio. Do you remember the studio who's making this movie?
It was Paramount Studio.
So Paramount Studios.
Everybody give a round of applause.
Okay, but hold on. I actually have a twist to this. Firstly, we're talking about Sonic, of course. Sonic. We're talking about how actually the internet did some good for once.
For once
we actually did good stuff, guys. We cyberbullied a company into changing things.
Yay!
I literally right before the podcast, I saw one of my friends posted a meme about how we're talking about how the internet did good things, but then it's like, yeah, you cyberbullied a company into changing something. It's like, oh, that's kind of true, but it's for the best. Anyways, we don't support cyberbullying, BT dubs. Okay. But yeah, so Sonic was redesigned to look so much better. He looks so much better, and now I'm actually interested and will probably watch the movie. I don't think it's going to be like a huge success or anything, but I want to watch it specifically
We got Johnny Depp, though.
Well, I like Jim Carrey as an actor.
Oh, yeah, Jim
and
Carrey.
Also, I don't know, it just seems sort of interesting. I'm not a big fan of how Sonic has electrical powers, but otherwise it would be very difficult to do what they're trying to do, because if a squishy hedgehog spins really fast and runs into a metal tank, he's just going to squidge into the tank.
That explains the whole scene where they're like, how are you alive? I have no idea.
Yeah, the writers had no idea, so they were just like, I don't know, because he is. And I guess his power is like intrinsic now, and there's not like Chaos Emeralds that he has and stuff. I don't know. We don't know the specifics, but I really like Jim Carrey, and I am very glad that they changed from monster, horrific, evil
Spawn
Sonic
of Satan to actual, like, kids would want to hug that.
Yeah.
But, I love the scene in the trailer, whereas, like, he, after that whole sequence where he destroys the robot, he's like, oh, give me a big, fat break!
Yeah. Jim Carrey is a wonderful actor, and
he's going to be awesome as
I think he's going to do a great job. And, of course, when you're making a movie, you have to have a good villain. There has to be. And I don't know if I've really ever seen Jim Carrey play a villain before. Well, he played the Grinch, but that's more of like an anti-hero, because we all sort of hate Christmas until it's Christmas time, which we'll get into here in a minute.
Boy.
But Matthew, I actually have a twist for you.
Alrighty.
On this story. So I heard that there's a rumor. It's a rumor and it's hearsay, so I don't know any truth to it, that maybe Paramount actually already had the second design worked out, but they released the first one to get good publicity when they switched it.
I don't believe that.
I don't either, but I'm throwing it out there. It's a possibility. That's currently
because why would they delay the movie?
Because they got all this free publicity about it. And now there's posts all across the internet like, hey, now that they listen to us, everybody go watch this movie. I don't know. It's possible.
I mean,
I'm not saying they did, because it's a conspiracy theory, but
I still feel like, even the final one that we got right now, or like the new one, it still has some work that needs to be done.
Oh yeah,
like it doesn't.
In the trailer, the mouth wasn't even lined up with the audio.
Yeah, it was. It's not final at all. No. They very much wanted to push that out so they can get some people talking about it again.
Mm-hmm. And instead of talking about how bad it is,
instead of talking about how crap the movie was,
literally you can look at both of the pictures of Sonic, and it is such a difference.
Night and day difference.
Night and day.
So, but yeah.
They made a very good choice about listening to the bullies on the internet, but don't take that as a lesson. So let
that be the lessons, kid.
Don't take that as a lesson.
You can do whatever your mind puts it to, as long as you bully
Moving
them.
on, is my favorite segment, Matthew.
It's back,
and I do believe that I will be victorious. So last time,
are you sure?
We're talking about the versus segment, of course, the staple, the thing that we do all the time because it's fun, and literally we have in parentheses here. Actually, just so you guys know, I'm going to read out our description of what we've typed here because we have like a whole rundown.
It's so
thing.
cheesy.
Yeah.
It's just so...
So what we wrote here is we both decide on some sort of geeky debate that we both have different viewpoints on
and have a friendly,
quote, in quotations, friendly discussion
debate.
about it. So yeah, that's our description of this.
It's nothing but friendly.
Not at all. Oh, it's always friendly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So
always friendly.
last time we talked about Mario and Luigi versus Batman and Robin. Of course, you guys agreed with me because you're all very smart and perfect individuals, and I love you all.
Why can't you ever give me a vote?
Because you're always wrong.
You know what?
You usually have a lot of people that vote with you as well, but there's just a couple more from my side. So this time we're going to be talking about two characters that are going to be in a movie very soon. I don't know when that movie's coming out. Maybe
probably
2021.
Probably 2021, 2022.
Yeah. We're talking about Doctor Strange into the multiverse or multiverse.
Wow, good job.
I mixed that up with Spider-Man. But yeah, Doctor Strange's multiverse movie that's coming out, and it is. Who is it, Matthew?
It's going to be Doctor Strange versus Wanda, or as it's known, Scarlet Witch. Now, to clarify, we're talking about the Marvel Cinematic Universe versions of these characters.
Even though X-Men is now technically property
what are they
going
to do? I'm just thinking in my head, like, oh...
I don't know. And we were already talking about, like, before the show started, how Disney Plus has been censoring some of their Fox stuff. So... yeah, but let's not get into that because that's still a developing thing.
Well, no,
look it up if you guys
Wanda's
want
technically Magneto's like daughter.
I don't know.
I'm like,
I don't know
what are we
how
gonna
that's
do
work.
about
I'm
this?
Not
They're gonna probably
sure.
have to change some stuff.
Well, hey, they're making a multiverse thing, so maybe all of the characters that we love move into this identical universe where the X-Men were always part of Marvel. I don't know. I'm not sure, but
I really hope
Doctor Strange versus Wanda, and of course, Matthew, you have chosen the loser of this. Of course.
Hey, you know what? I'm gonna get all the girls to rally behind her, and that's how I win.
Okay, I'm gonna use
Girl
logical
power.
arguments against yours.
Girl power.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm sure we have a very strong female audience for
We do.
our two podcasts with two guys. Anyways, because reasons, Matthew, why would Wanda beat Doctor Strange in a fight?
Well, first off, she's super strong. She knows how to use like a lot of abilities. She's able to mind control people. We learned that from Age of Ultron.
Only if she touches them.
Mm-hmm. Which wouldn't be super difficult for for her to get to Doctor Strange.
It would be very difficult for her to get to Doctor Strange.
Also, she can also like make heavy objects. She can move heavy objects. And she can also throw people. She can she's got super strength. She's got I
really feel like you're gonna lose this one, Matthew, because I'm thinking of way more and more arguments that just.
She's got super strength.
Doctor Strange is just more powerful than her, man.
She's got magical powers.
So does he.
He's got mind control. She got all of her powers.
So you're just telling me why.
Stone,
you're just telling me why she's strong.
Well, not the Mind Stone.
You're not telling me how she would beat Doctor Strange
with brute force.
Oh dear. Okay, well, first of all, Doctor Strange. You said that she got her powers from the stone. He wields a stone, and it is the time stone to which he could literally just freeze her in time. Or
which one are we talking
like
about?
That. What do you mean?
Which are we talking about? He doesn't? Are we talking about Infinity War? Or are we talking?
We're talking about just the characters themselves. As a general rule, Doctor Strange has the time stone. He only got rid of it because of the Endgame thing, but he was going to get it back afterwards.
But he never did at the end of Endgame.
I don't know.
Because he had to. Because remember that stone was.
Okay,
Thanos
even if he doesn't have the time stone.
Yeah, he no longer has the time stone.
No, I think he might.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah.
Because Endgame, remember the time stone that they got, they had to take back, and then that back in time because Captain America took all the stones back, and then the one that he gave to Thanos destroyed all the stones. He used the stones to destroy the stones, so technically he doesn't have the time stone.
Okay, well, even if he doesn't have the time stone, he still has unbelievable control out of all of the facets of his magical abilities.
Mm-hmm.
And you're saying that she's all magical and stuff. Well, he could just trap her in the mirror realm and then leave, and then she'd be stuck there.
No, she
doesn't have a sling ring. You have to have a sling ring to get in and out of that. It's been proven.
Yeah, but wasn't it like the space stone that she... was it the space stone?
She does not wield a stone. She has powers.
Yeah, she has powers from the stone.
I don't know if it's from the stone.
Yeah, it was.
I don't remember.
They did testing on them before.
She
Age
was
of
just
Ultron.
like shoehorned into an Iron Man film, so I don't even like fully remember her backstory.
Yeah, they did.
Honestly.
They did experimentations with the stone, and then the power from the stone gave her powers.
Okay, well, still.
So she gets her powers.
You're
from the
saying
stone.
she would win by brute force. Well, I'm saying that Doctor Strange would easily be able to use his mind.
Yeah, but we're talking about in a fist fight. You said
not in a fist fight.
well, not
in a fight.
In a fight.
Yeah, and he would easily be able to manipulate time and space, even if he doesn't have a time stone, in order to fight her. And as you mentioned, she has to touch him in order to mind control, right? Well, he has a cloak of strangling to death, which would just jump on her face and slam her head against the ground until she died. If she tried to
but then
get
she
too
could
close.
just take him. She could just do what Squidward did in Infinity War. Take a bunch of rocks.
That was my favorite part in Infinity War, man, when he was like, "Okay, Squidward," and that's just amazing.
I mean, if Squidward can take him on, Wanda can take him on.
I'm gonna miss Robert Downey Jr. in the MCU because he's just the best. Anyways. We're talking about Doctor Strange versus Wanda. I just think that he's got so many tricks up his sleeve because we don't even know the full extent of his power because we've only seen one movie.
I mean,
and then
I have
in
a
Endgame,
really
he
good
was
feeling,
literally
I
just
know.
holding back water because he didn't even get to go out.
Yeah, it wasn't his movie.
I mean, as you said, he can make like 1 million copies of himself and just like restrain her or whatever he needs to do.
Yeah, but if Thanos can take on a bunch of copies of himself, I'm pretty sure
but Thanos
Wanda,
had-
who kicked his rear end.
Okay. Thanos would beat Wanda because they literally fought each other. Yeah.
Wanda, if it wasn't for that spaceship, Wanda would have had him right there. Because you remember seeing Endgame, where that scene where she shows up and he's like, "Who are you?" And I'm like, he's like, she tells him, he's like, "You killed the only person I ever loved," and he's like, "I don't even know you," and she's like, "Oh, you're about to find out," and if it wasn't for that spaceship, she would have probably killed him right then and there.
Perhaps.
There was a good chance she could have killed him.
Perhaps. I still think Doctor Strange would win.
You know when Thanos has to call for help, that something's gone wrong.
Yeah, but this was Thanos without any stones as well. And
even with the stones, he was able to hold them
without
off.
the stones, Doctor Strange never fought Thanos. So we don't know how strong Doctor Strange would have been against a powerless Thanos.
Also, now that you say that, let's go back to Infinity War. He held him at bay with 5 of the 6 stones.
Yeah.
By herself.
No, she didn't hold him. She did not.
She held him back from getting to freaking
No,
Vision.
she didn't.
Yes, she did, all by herself. The others were trying to bother her, but literally, he just threw him away. And when he about got to her, she was blasting him with energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that kept him at bay just long enough for him to destroy the stone.
Plot. Not because she's strong, because plot. They wanted that emotional moment. That was not because she was like super strong.
Okay,
he was just like giving
ask.
her that time because he wanted to do the big reveal that he could like time stone the stone back or whatever.
Let me ask you this. Do you feel like...
And if we're talking about Infinity War Wanda, then I can talk about Doctor Strange with a time stone who would win regardless.
Uh-huh. Yeah, but that's just her by herself. No, bull crap, additional stuff. When you started introducing the time stone, of course you're going to win.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the case.
Because he wields it.
But that's not part of him. That's not something that's integral to his actual
debatable.
person.
The most, if we're talking about the amount of screen time that Doctor Strange has had, he has had that stone with him longer than not.
No. Nope. Nope.
Maybe.
Nope. Even with, now I will admit he is strong without the stone by himself. But if they were just the 2 individuals without any bonus stuff, just what they have on them, Wanda would win.
Regardless of time stone, regardless of anything, if we're talking about just the villains that they've defeated, yeah, Wanda could hold Thanos at bay and push him away as he slowly approaches. Doctor Strange defeated an undefeatable...
That was with the time stone.
Yeah, but he still used his brain and all of the strategic... An undefeatable, interdimensional, super death man, with a whole universe to himself of death and destruction and everything, and he defeated him using his mind. Yes, he had the time stone with him, but just being able to do all of that with the thoughts that he could use in the strategy, I think would definitely give him the win against Wanda. But it's not for us to decide. That's for all of you guys to decide at home. So let us know on our social media pages at Facebook, Back from the Grid Podcast, and Twitter, Back from the Grid. We're also on Twitch, but you can't really let us know there. You can try, but it probably won't work. But yeah, let us know who you think would win in a fight, Doctor Strange or Wanda. And I'll let you guys decide whether Doctor Strange has the time stone or not, because it's debatable.
It's very debatable. I like this versus map.
Yeah, I feel like this was really good.
I feel like, we were
I
very...
feel like this is pretty evenly matched, but I'm pretty sure I know who's the victor.
We'll have to let we're going to have to let the viewers decide. So, moving on.
So, Matthew.
It's that time of...
Is it?
It is.
Is it that time of the podcast?
It is
one
that
time everyone loves, and besides Mountain Blade Bannerlord, the only reason anyone ever listens to our podcast?
It is. Cody, what's this segment called?
LPIAY.
Oh, snap. LPIAY.
Snap. So I noticed, though, Matthew, you're not using the question that we asked in the Halloween episode.
We are not. So
because we had car crashes and stuff, so we
had some stuff.
That. But you posted a new one, which actually got a whole bunch of responses.
Yeah, we did. So last podcast, I asked you, what should it be illegal to put up Christmas decorations before Thanksgiving?
It wasn't exactly last podcast. It was actually like yesterday.
It's the name of the segment.
I know,
Get over it.
It was actually like yesterday, but all right.
So we actually did cut a couple of responses. We got like 4 or something responses. I love one of them where it was like, maybe. It's like, this is not a yes or no answer.
Okay,
this is a maybe.
Before we begin, I want to let you guys know, both me and Matthew have a very strong opinion that you should wait to put up Christmas decorations until after Thanksgiving. I'm not saying that if you have a different opinion that you're wrong. You're wrong. No, we have our opinions, but if you do it differently, like, that's totally fine. You do you. You have a great time. You enjoy your Christmas decorations as long as you want to. You can leave them up all year for all I care. Leave them up with the Halloween decorations and whatevers. I know people that have a tree they put up and they decorate it for each individual holiday. So you do you, but me and Matthew both have the very strong feelings that Christmas should wait until after Thanksgiving. So, Matthew, please continue.
So we did get one pretty lengthy one from Anne-Marie Williams. She said, not November, but Christmas music should not play before Thanksgiving. October, they should not be up.
Yes.
And unfortunately...
Preach it.
So,
preach
it. Now, I will say, I work at retail. I'm not going to say where I work specifically. Yeah. I work retail, and it's so soul-crushing on freaking Halloween, my favorite time of the year, that they start tearing down decorations and replacing them with Christmas, of all things. During Halloween!
Your horror is not Halloween. It's Santa staring down at you during Halloween.
Oh,
big inflatable Santa just staring at you, Matthew.
I get to see Santa popping his head up just like, oh, heck yeah.
He just kicks in the door. Santa's here.
Oh, yeah.
Ho, ho, ho.
I'm here, boys. But yeah, no, we got another response from Daisy. She said, I like decorations, though.
Why'd you read it like that?
Because she just sounds like so sad. She's like, why are you going to do this, man?
Why are you guys doing this? Like I said,
what's
Daisy.
Wrong with that?
Daisy,
she's probably one of those people.
Daisy, it's totally okay if you like to put your decorations up before. Just know that both me and Matthew hate you.
We are judging you hardcore.
I'm just kidding. I'm really kidding.
We're kidding. Yeah, please don't.
We have opinions on things, but
now that we talked about that, let's go ahead and talk about what go ahead and give our answers. So Cody, should it be illegal?
Oh, okay. So about whether it should be illegal, absolutely not. This is a free country, and if you want to put your Christmas decorations up, this is a free country, unlike some countries.
China.
I wasn't gonna actually be specific, but
woohoo! There went all the viewers.
Hey, now we just lost all of the money that we make, which is 0. So I really don't care. But yes, no, absolutely not. It should not be illegal because this is a free country. If you want to have your Christmas decorations up all year, you do that. You live your life.
We're just gonna judge you.
But I do think that if you want to be a responsible human being, you should wait until after Thanksgiving. That's just my personal opinion. You don't have to follow that if you don't want to. But Matthew, I get the feeling that I know the answer to this question for you. But why don't you let the listeners know?
Yes, it should be illegal, and if you do it, I hate you.
Well, I'm now gonna go put up a tree in my house
Just to
so that
spite me.
just in spite.
You know
of
what? You need to get a bunch of like ornaments that are shaped in middle fingers.
I just got an idea. Everybody at home, if you have your Christmas decorations up right now, please send us a lot of pictures of that.
Oh no!
Just
No!
flood our inboxes and flood our pages with pictures of Christmas decorations.
If you do that, I will start blocking people from.
I will unblock you. Don't worry. I
No.
will fight Matthew.
Oh,
I don't
God.
care.
I don't want to see any of that garbage on my Facebook page at all.
Please, everyone, just spam us with that. No, don't spam because you might get like banned off YouTube or something, or Facebook or whatever.
YouTube cough cough.
Yeah.
Anyways, so next question. I got a question for you guys. What movie are you looking forward to watching this year or the next year, and why?
Ooh.
Go ahead, list in your
tough,
answers.
There's a lot of good
There's a
ones
lot
coming
of good movies.
A lot of good
Star
ones.
Wars, Cats. Yeah, we got that movie. Hey, this Christmas, you will believe. It's going to be a great movie. Anyway, go ahead, write down your answers in the post that we'll have on Facebook.
Yes, write it down, pencil and paper, mail it to our P.O. box, which we don't have.
And if you don't want to do it for that specific one, go ahead and just list the hashtag LaPie, which Cody, have the audio clip play again.
You're putting me on the spot, Matthew. I'm not ready.
I'm putting you on the spot.
I muted
Here we
my
go.
thing. Hold on.
It is hashtag
LPIAY.
LPIAY.
LPIAY movies.
All right, Matthew. We've got one last segment to do, and it's this newest segment that you're making, and we're gonna give it another go because it didn't go good last time.
Didn't go well. I've made adjustments.
I was very delirious, and because I just hadn't had enough sleep. But guess what? Today, before the podcast, I took like a 2-hour nap. So I am not delirious today, ladies and gentlemen.
Alrighty, Cody, your monitor down because I'm not letting you look at. BT
I'm
Dubs.
not gonna cheat.
I don't trust you.
Too bad.
I don't trust you. Just be like,
no, there's nothing. Look, just I'm not even gonna just shush.
Just shush.
I'm not gonna cheat. This is like a whole thing we're doing.
Alrighty, people. So it is.
Just don't write your answers on the same page that I have to look at to see what we're doing.
This is a very new segment, people. I just want everybody to know
this
that.
This is Matthew's new baby.
So anyway, today is our new segment. We've only done about a couple one. It's going to be our quiz show section with your host with the most, Matthew.
With the most what?
Swagger. I don't know.
Okay.
We are going to have 5 questions. You'll have 15 seconds to go ahead and decide.
Ooh, I have more seconds this time.
You have 15 whole seconds.
15 whole seconds, ladies and gentlemen. You can play along at home, too.
Yeah, there you go. Cody will not interject his question until I say time is up.
Yes.
So, anyway.
No, I don't want to just sit here for 15 seconds of silence.
You gotta let the,
Yeah, I'll wait, but I'm not going to wait 15 seconds every time, so they're just 15 seconds
Wow, I'll do 10
of
seconds then.
Fine.
Fight me.
Well, we'll make it work.
Fight me.
Okay.
Anyway, so let's get right down into it. Our topic for today is Civilization 5.
A game that both of us have been playing a lot.
And how many hours do you have in it? Putting you on the spot again.
Probably like 500.
Oh, Jesus Christ. You have no life. Alrighty.
Hey, I didn't have a life. I do now. Now I make a podcast.
There you go. So you're one of those no lives.
I will break your pencil that you don't have nearby.
Alrighty, so let's get right on into it, guys. Question number 1. Which of the following luxuries is only available in the Brave New World? A. Silver. B. Iron. C. Cocoa. D. Bananas. Ready, set, go.
Oh, that's a rough one. That is a rough one. I do believe I know the answer, but that's really tough because I bought all of the luxuries, all of the expansions in one go. So my answer.
Give me your answer.
Is final answer. Pretending to scroll on my computer and look at the answer. No, I'm pretty sure it's either cocoa or bananas, and I'm gonna say it's cocoa.
It's actually D. Bananas.
I knew it was one of them. I was not.
You were. I'll give you half credit. I'm flexible.
No, I didn't get it right. You don't have to give me half credit. It's fine.
You get half a credit.
Half a credit. All right. Next question, Matthew. Next question.
Azika is the leader of the. I don't even know how to pronounce that.
Why did you write it down if you can't pronounce it? Practice the questions beforehand.
Asika is the leader of the Assyrians.
Oh.
True or false? Ready, set, go. 10 seconds.
So Matthew, I hate to say it, but this is the question that I accidentally saw when I was scrolling through.
I hate
So ladies and
you.
gentlemen, please give your answers. I already know the answer to this.
Dun-dun-dun.
But honestly, I don't know the answer because I don't know either of those things because I don't know all the civilizations in there. But I know it's false because I cheated a little bit. So I'll take no
hate
credit
you.
for that one.
You get
so I'm
no
still
credit.
0 or
You're
0.5.
still 0. Alrighty. What is the capital of
Indiana?
Indiana,
I don't
yes.
know.
India, Indones.
Indonesia?
Yeah, Indonesia.
Okay.
Jakarta.
Jakarta?
Serbia.
You really need to write questions that you can read.
I'm sorry that they're about countries I have no.
Well, you got to practice saying it beforehand,
So,
man.
A. Jakarta. Jakarta. B. Serbia. C. Batum. D. New York.
Batum?
Batam.
It's not New York. That one's...
Alrighty, let's go. 10 seconds.
Let's go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, your answers, please. I think I know this answer, though.
Do you?
I'm pretty sure I know this answer.
That has been 10 seconds, guys. Cody.
My answer is Jakarta.
Jakarta is correct.
Final
ding,
answer.
Ding, 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 ding.
Wow,
You
I've played this game
correct.
so much that I know things.
Oh, God, that's pretty scary.
Right.
Let's go on to the next section, or the next question, with your host with the most. Religion was introduced into the base game. True or false? Let's go.
Oh, I know this one. Not
Are you
because I
sure?
cheated, but I know this one.
Are you
easily,
sure?
Because I remember playing the base game, and then I remember what was added in the expansions, which was not in the base game.
Alrighty, kids. It's time.
Ladies
Cody.
and gentlemen, my answer is... wait, what was the question again? I can't remember which one. True
Religion
and false
was introduced into the base game. True
was
or false?
introduced into the base game.
Mm-hmm.
So, as in that it was not an expansion, it was in an update.
No, it was just in the base game.
Oh, false.
False. You are correct. It was not in the base game.
It wasn't in Brave New Worlds. It was in King's. Oh, I can't remember what it's called. It's like King's something.
Which is very rare.
What?
Like usually, all the other games have all had religion in their game, and
Oh yeah, Civ 5 had a lot of big updates, but the game was all right without religion. It was just like an extra layer of stuff. But yeah, it's a really good game, and I recommend everybody play it. If you
So, Cody, this is our last question.
Oh crap! I thought that was the last question.
That was not.
Ooh.
Last question. No, question number 5. Name all the ways you can win in Civ 5. I'll give you 10 seconds to think now.
I already know the answer.
Do you?
Yes.
You have to name all 5.
I'm pretty sure I know the answers.
So, giving people some time, and
That's
is
hard
time.
for people to answer at home because you got to know a lot about that game. Okay, so military, technology, culture, tourism, and time.
So yeah, the answer is cultural victory, diplomatic victory, domination, and science victory and time victory.
Okay, I think tourism is mixed in with culture.
It is.
Yeah, and I forgot about the diplomatic, but I was close.
But close, but no cigar.
Hey, try your best, kids. Fail with confidence. Okay.
Alrighty.
So thank you guys for listening to that segment. Let us know if you like that segment or not, because I'm not entirely sure how well it works for that side of the podcast, but it's fun. I enjoy it. Matthew did a good job at putting it together.
Yeah.
And we have had an extensively long podcast today.
Yeah, we'll make up for everybody else.
For that one we didn't have last week, but we are almost certainly going to have one next week, and it's going to be really great and fun. And we're like 3 weeks away from graduation. So once that happens,
we'll be able to do a lot more content.
Good
You'll
stuff.
see us on Twitch possibly.
Yeah,
we don't
want
to go telling anything.
Yeah, we don't know exactly how things are going to go just yet, but we're working it out. We're going to make some really cool stuff, and I hope you guys join us for that. So Matthew, I think this is the end, and since you did the intro, I get to do the outro. Do you have anything to say before we sign off?
Pineapples.
Why didn't you say bananas? That would be topical.
I don't care.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for listening to us today, our random blabblings, and we'll see you
On the
in the next exciting episode of the Back from the Grid podcast.
Bye.
See you guys later.